All right, we'll get started here in just a minute. Welcome everyone that's joined so far. All right, make sure I'm all set up here. All right, welcome everyone. This is my first time streaming on multiple platforms at the same time, so bear with me while I work through the logistics. I will wait here just a minute. All right, well, we're going to get started here. So, welcome everyone. Bear with me while I work through the logistics of this. This is the first time I've streamed on multiple platforms at the same time. So, today I wanted to, the other day I was sitting around and was doing some AI automations and was like, I wonder if other people would want to look and watch what I do. So I figured, hey, let's just stream this and see what happens. So today, what I plan on doing is some screen sharing of my AI automations. Um, I want to build a couple of things together. So if you have an if you're an Amazon seller or TikTok shop seller or have an idea for an automation or maybe even a bottleneck maybe in your business that could be automated, what I'd like to do is automate that here for you today. Um, Disclaimer, I am not the best top AI automation expert out there. There are things I don't know. There are things that I'm still learning. So if there's anybody that's really good out there for AI automations, feel free to step in and let me know what I could be doing differently or could be doing better. I would say I'm above average at what I do, but I definitely want to be able to share the most with everybody in what I'm doing. So I'm going to give this just another minute here, and then we will hop right in. If you are joining us from TikTok, welcome. I don't have the ability to multi-stream on TikTok just yet, but am working on that. So I know it's not a very good screen right now, but soon we should be able to get that rolling. All right, so let me get. Hey, Amy. I will certainly have a replay up with some snippets of some of the key points. So thanks for joining. All right, does anybody have a bottleneck or an issue that's going on in their business that could potentially be automated? So is there something out there that maybe you're scrubbing a website and trying to get the pricing, or you just need a simple AI agent chat flow built that would help with your D2C website? Maybe you just need reports emailed to you each day, or Slack emailed to you each day, or I mean, anything that you can think of that might be able to help you. I have a couple of ideas that I want to work on. Actually, let's just dig right in until we get more. So one of the workflows I've been working on recently is having AI listing images automated. So for an ASIN. So I'm going to go through a brief analysis of what I've built out so far. It is not fully working yet, so I'm going to be testing it here soon. But every automation starts with a trigger. So something has to start this. You can set triggers up as they can just be time triggers or like a schedule trigger. So every day at 6 a.m. or every day at a certain time, you have a trigger set for the morning. You can set the time, you can set it multiple times. So you can set a trigger that runs multiple times per day. Or once per day. We do that a lot with reports that have to come through to us. So everything starts with a trigger. It starts with something that does it. One of my favorite triggers out there are webhooks. So a webhook is very quick to explain. It's a trigger that gets activated by an action. So it could be a submit button on your website. It could be a customer sending a message. It could be just anything you can really think of that is automated, and that quickly goes into a webhook. So it sends it to a URL, and when that URL, when you set it up and that URL receives information or data, then that will move the process and start the process. So I use a lot of webhooks, and you'll actually see a lot of different webhooks in my automations here for a lot of the stuff that I've already built out. I can also review some of this stuff as well if you want. Again, if you're on TikTok, I apologize for the low quality. I am working on getting it set up that we're automated, that it works, that my streamer works for all of them. So I have a schedule trigger here. I also have some a Slack webhook trigger that triggers this automation. Does anybody have any bottlenecks in their Amazon business that could be automated? Anything that I create here today, I am actually going to email and share with everybody that's on this. So if there's anything that you can think of that you might want to automate in your workflow, I'll go through a few things here. Let's go back into our Amazon listing images automation. So let me share with you what I have set up so far. So far I've got automatic execution. What I set for my variables are, let me actually reduce this. What I've set for my variables are, let's change that out. So having a product URL, so having your product with the ASIN active, main image URL. So what is, saving your main image to Google Drive, and then a couple of other brand name, and then your actual, let me move this over a little so you can see. So your actual keywords. So what are your main keywords? So what the idea behind this is you take your actual listing, and maybe your main keyword for your Amazon listing is backpack or laundry detergent, or whatever your main keyword is. We set that as a variable. So my webhook will actually take the variable that comes in and set it as a variable inside of this workflow. From there, it's going to two steps. The first step is I run an actor inside of Apify. So Apify is a scraper. It allows you to do a lot of different things, right? So it runs a lot of different things. One of them that it does is it will actually take your Amazon search term and will run a search engine report page. So it'll actually run it and get you back your top competitors on the page, right? So this one I ran for detergent sheets. The results that came back in JSON, which is coding. Let me make this. And it gave the top 60 for that search engine report page. So I can take this information and put it into and as an output. Then I can, what I'm doing here is extracting the top ASIN, so the top 10 searches of what I just automated. And then I'm taking those top 10 and I'm running another, we call them actors on Apify. Apify, I really like, and we're getting more detailed information about those 10, right? So if you actually look at the output of this, it's going to show, the ASIN, the about the product. So how many do they have in? What's the brand name? It looks at the categories that it's actually listed in. So it takes the information and looks at the categories. The features. So this is something really nice. This is the description. So it's taking the description right from the search engine report, or right from your listing. And I can do whatever I want with this. So I can take that data and do whatever I want. Something that I really like is it also grabs the listing images, right? So that's what the first part of this is that it is taking the listing images, and I can download those and do certain fun things with them. This one takes the main image for it, gives the resolution back. The manufacturer shows up there. So who the manufacturer is, right? So who the main competitors are. This one's ran for detergent sheets. So that is the output from this, right? So inside of N8N, and that's the program I use, is N8N. I do use make.com, so you'll actually see some make.com scenarios as well. Make.com is I find easier to use with if you're new to the system. If you haven't used it before, I do find make.com is a little bit easier to use because it has some built-in modules that you just log in with instead of having to do coding. All right, so let's run back. So I set my search terms. From the search terms, I am running two actors. The first one is doing running an Amazon.com search, and just a regular search. It pulls the top 60 of that search term. It's going to extract the top 10 ASINs out of that. From the top 10, it extracts the top 10. And from the top 10, it is going to transform the data. It grabs the top 10 pages and all the detail of those pages. Then it will transform the data in order for me to see it. Now I want to extract that data in what's called OpenAI embedding. So what this does, and it's a coding, and what this does is it will transform it into a vector. And a vector just means, hey, this is something very easy for my AI to read, and it's not just garbled information, right? It's something easy and small for my AI to read. Okay, so that's the first phase that it goes through. The second one is it actually will upload. I have an if node here. If the variable exists. So if the variable exists, and the variable here is the product URL, it uploads it to Google Gemini, right? I really like Gemini for reviewing the image and analyzing the image, right? I think the 2.5 Pro is really good. So I take the image, I upload it, and then I have this prompt here that's saying, analyze the image, check the image requirements, make sure it works, it fits, make sure there's nothing missing from our hero image, and do a quality assessment on it. So look at the sharpness, the clarity, professional, and it just gives a recommendation and spits out a recommendation, right? So now I'm going to merge that information. And now we're going to start the fun part. We have an AI agent set up. Okay. So the difference between running just a node and this is a node, this is called a node, running a node for Google Gemini and running an AI agent is an AI agent can do multiple things. Okay. So really briefly, an AI agent has I think of it as a master prompt, right? So the master prompt says, and let's look at this one, right? So let's go look at the master prompt on this one. So it's saying, you are an expert in analyzing images and you're a designer for images, right? So you're going to have some input from previous nodes. Okay. So it's going to pull the information from these previous nodes. That's what this means. Okay. And it is going to take that information. We're going to look at the top performing listing images. We're going to look at the infographics and the layout. So the supporting images, going to look at the A plus and analyze it, right? So have it completely analyzing it. And I want it to output a certain way. Okay. So I want it to output in JSON, right? So this allows me to take that information and put it into the next node. So this is going to use, what do I have it set up as? It looks like it's going to use Claude. So it's going to use Claude Opus 4 to be the mastermind of analyzing the data. It's going to use simple memory. I always set up simple memory inside of the second node. I find that when AI agents are running, they need to have a memory database that's outside of it, just to store, its thoughts during the processing of it. The magic happens with tools. Okay, so this is where the magic happens. So the first tool I always add is the Think tool. A tool is the AI agent has the ability to access these tools to do the things that I ask it to do, right? So one of the ones I like to set up often is Perplexity's market research. So what I did, I set up the Perplexity market research, and I don't input text for it. I don't input a prompt for it. What I do is I hit this magic button right here, and this magic button allows the AI agent to determine the prompt for for Perplexity. Perplexity is another LLM or model that goes in, and it determines it for. So it will input whatever it needs from it, because in the prompt I say use Perplexity this way, right? So in its master prompt, I say use Perplexity or Anthro tool to analyze the main image, the infographics, the A plus, editing, and search the web. I like it to search the web. So that's one of the tools that I assign to it. Another one is get binary image, because I need, when I upload to the AI agent, I need it to be able to read the image, and it can't do it from a URL most of the time. So what binary image does is it transforms it into numbers so that the AI agent can read and upload the images that I upload into it. And then I like to have the Google Gemini mode here with 2.5 Pro hooked up again. Again, I have the model decide what to do with the prompt, so that it can actually analyze the image however it needs to analyze the image. I actually have that incorrect. So I don't want it to, I want it to analyze the image. So again, I have not gone through this yet. I haven't finished this entire workflow and tested it. So I'm going through this with you at the same time. All right, so we have the image. So those are tools. If you want to add a tool, you hit this add button right here, and these nodes come over. And when I hit that add button, the tools are available. And there are so many tools. I actually went through these tools myself in order to analyze and see what tools were even available, right? So just scrolling through these and seeing what tools were available. I mean, there's a Facebook Graph API tool. I mean, there's so many tools in here that you can use and teach your AI agent to use these tools and how to use these tools. So, so now we have basically the AI agent with a master prompt analyzing the images against the competitor images. So analyzing the hero images against the competitor images and figuring out the best way for moving forward with the images. So then I have a code node here. The code node just parses it for me. A lot of the coding I do not know coding, period. I mean, I do not even know what this means. So I will actually say to ChatGPT or Anthropic and say, hey, how do I code? What do I do? I need it to do this. Here's the input. What do I need? So I go back and forth a lot with with ChatGPT and Claude in order to get me code that puts out what I need. So now I have let's zoom it out a little bit so you can see this. So now I have it creating a main image based off of the input. I have a subtask created to create the main image, and then it is going to all be put together, right? So that'll be the main image. This is going to be the infographics, and this is going to be the workflow for the A+ models. So I use an API called Kie, KIE.ai. It's a little bit lower cost API. And I find that it connects to all of these models, right? So it's a little bit lower cost API than connecting to them directly. Like Veo3, you can connect to, but directly, but it's a little bit more expensive. So I connect using Kie. You do have to make sure you understand what Kie does, and if you're not used to APIs and you don't understand how all that works, just use make.com at first. I'll go through a make.com workflow. So it'll go through this for main images. It'll go through infographics and A+. The idea is it will compile it all together. I do have it uploading to Amazon, but that's not really, I don't really need it to upload to Amazon. I kind of just have that node there. It'll create a row in my Supabase. So you want to store this stuff somewhere. I use Supabase to store it. N8N just came out with their own storage. So I've not used it. I want to say, I literally think that it came out 2 or 3 days ago. So I've not even set it up yet. So I don't even know what it's set up under. So it does have its own storage. I haven't used it. I like Supabase because I can create AI agents, or I can create things that are put together, and I can extract it from Supabase anywhere. It can be in make.com, it can be in N8N, it can be on my website even, to extract the data directly. So I like using Supabase. So you set up the tables in Supabase in order to have it store the data, and you can access it later. All right, so so that's it. I mean, really, and let me just hit the test button here and see how it sits, because I haven't looked or done this in a while. So let me just actually execute this step. So I want to execute workflow. So we'll go here and we'll execute workflow. And I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm trying to keep this where you can see it in a 916. So we'll execute workflow from here. We will use the execute workflow in that, and then we will see what happens. So let's make this a little bigger and see what happens. So you can actually see it working, right? So it'll go through each node and it will pop out an error, and you can see it working as it goes through. So it's thinking, it does a lot of thinking over time. Let me grab Make. I think make.com is going to be a good tool for us to use and display some things. Does anybody have an Amazon seller or an agency have a bottleneck that something that they do so often that they think can just be can be created with an automation? Something like, maybe there's a report, Amazon report that they want to have emailed or sent to a Slack channel or something that can just be automated right away, that can save them some time and money. So, all right, so we got an error. Got an error on this one. It says bad request, check. A lot of the times I like to just run the error through ChatGPT, and it looks like we're sending the data in wrong. Um, one of the great things with N8N versus other ones is we can actually execute this step again from the failings and test it. So if we go over into the executions and debug, we can retry it from that. See, I get the same error. Again, if anybody has any suggestions on how to do things more, do it more efficiently, please let me know. Let's ask the assistant. So let's just do this. Let's go to our friend ChatGPT and say, hey, how do I fix this? All right, so let's do this. We're going to copy and paste the first one. I'm not sure why Supabase ain't letting us log in right now. So basically what's happening, we have an error with getting the embedding inputted into the Supabase. All right, let's actually move into something a little bit easier, I would say, in make.com. That is, I think, next level. I want to make sure that we are addressing what everybody needs and show that it's actually not too hard to create these workflows, right? So something that you can do pretty easily. So let's actually just start with a fresh scenario, right? So hit new scenario. Let's start with a fresh scenario. let's just set a schedule trigger. So we're going to set a module. Let's just do a schedule trigger. It's been a minute since I've actually used N8N or make.com. So bear with me while I do this. I switched over to N8N. So we'll do a schedule trigger, and this will schedule how often we want, right? So it's not active, so it's not going to go now. And what do we want to schedule? So let's say that we have an Amazon report that we want. You know, we want to pull Amazon report every day at a certain time. So the great thing about make.com is it actually has an Amazon Seller Central node, right? So it's already built in. So let's do report. So let's get a report. So in here, we actually, all you do is you add and you can log right into Seller Central right from here. So you're connecting your Seller Central directly to make.com. So you'll hit save and it'll let you log in. So you can actually very easily connect it without needing an API connection. So that's why I really like make.com. So we want to set up Amazon Seller Central to send a report to us every day. So let's go in here. So let's create a report. What kind of report do we want? We want it from Marketplace, report. Let's say we want get sales and traffic report, right? So how do we want it broken down? We want it from the day. Let's do week, and then let's do it at the parent level. Let's just say, all right, so now this module will run every 15 minutes when I activate it. Right now, I'm letting it run in pulling that report. So the nodes are going to actually pull the Amazon Seller Central report for me automatically. It does take time, so we'll let this run through. In the meantime, let's see. All right, so it created a report for me, right? So that's this node. It actually created a report for me. So now I have an input into the node, and the input is it's scheduled every 15 minutes or scheduled, and I ran it. And from there, it gave me an output. So the input was get sales and traffic report, and it gave me an output. So the report document is this number. So the output section gives me that number. So now I can take that report ID and I can pull up the Amazon Seller Central node again. And I'm going to get that report, right? So we're going to get that report. So I want to map it directly to, and by mapping it, it means what input am I giving this node? Well, I want to give it the output from this node, right? The report ID automatically. So I'm going to take this and we're going to go in here and we're going to map it to the report document ID, right? So I actually click right here. It'll say 3 report document ID. So this is node number 3 and it's report document ID. So now it will get that report or that report. So as an Amazon seller, here we are. I've automated it so that every day it pulls the report. From the report, I need to get the report. So now if I was to run this and it goes through, it will pull the report. But I can execute this module and run this module right now, right? So I want to test it and see what's happening. So I have that report, right? I have that output from there. And if you lose the output from here, you can actually go into the history and the executions, and you can see in the details section the output, right? So I have the output. We're going to save that. We'll go back into, I like to do this. And we'll go back into the diagram. We'll actually go back into the workflow, and we will run the report right now. So we're going to run this module and we'll be able to review the data from the report. So I'm just going to input that document ID. All right, so it's not found. Oh, sorry. That was my fault. So I actually ended up doing it to the document ID and not the actual report ID. So I need to fix it so that the node is going to be automatically placed with the report ID. There we go. So now that's going from there to there. Let's run this module with the report ID, hit OK. So now it's going to run and pull, remember, input, report ID, output gives me the data. Okay. So now I can take this document and download that document using the same thing. And it looks like we don't actually need this module right here to get the report because it does output the document ID. So let's remove that. This one we can map directly to the report document ID, and we need that document ID from the scenario. So let's go pull that document ID. And we're going to run this module now. And it should get us our document. So it did, it output for us this is the binary code. So we have to download that now. So if you don't know what to do next, like really honestly, ChatGPT is the way to go, right? And it's pretty easy to just say, hey, I have a bunch of numbers in my output from make.com from Amazon Seller Central. I actually like to use Claude for this more so because Claude has N8N documents in it. And it's really good at coding, but I use both. So I have a bunch of numbers in my output from make.com from Seller Central. How do I get the document? And it will tell me what to do. Oops. So I know we're going to use the HTTP node. We're going to get a file. That's URL. Sometimes I just do a search and say, what does Seller Central have inside of it? So it gives a binary file, not URL, right? Because if we go back here and we look at the history, it said, let's see what the output is. Document data. Let's go see if we can change that node to output. No, it doesn't output anything. Amazon delivers in gzip format. To make these files readable, use gunzip. There we go. And of course, all this takes a lot of time. You know, it's not something quick and easy. There we go. So gunzip is what's going to do it. So gunzip will run. And this is all from ChatGPT, right? Let's go get that data. Oops. All right, let's just run this through. We do have a module set up already for this, so let's go see. All right, so we've got Gunzip coming in, and then it says ChatGPT told me we need to have a JSON, so we needed to parse the data first. A lot of the times when parsing the data basically just means we take that data and put it into a readable format, right? So it's going to read it as JSON or coding. So we want to create that data structure from there, but first we want to run that through so that we have a data structure to create. So we are in here, and the data went in, transform. All right, let's get, whoops. So I also like to search template library. So if this might already be done, so why waste time on it? Let's get this. Create download port. Use the template, archive JSON. All right, looks like that's already there. All right, I was gonna try to see if the data structure was there. Let's Oh, are we in the wrong? All right, we're gonna run that back through, and then let's go look for more templates, because I like to, there's a lot of free templates out there that will allow you to automatically do things, right? And so there's no point in rebuilding something that's already there. All right, so this gave us an output. All right, so let's go view what went through. So this actually, you remember, so it went through, right? So the report came out with all the data coming from this node, and this is all the data. So this actually shows you everything. So I wanted to parse it into a JSON so I can actually view the data. So it is giving me very specific information. So maybe I want to, let's look at the sales and traffic by ASIN. So this is the ASIN, right? So now let's take that data and let's put it into, I would use Supabase, but let's do a Google Sheet. So if we go add, let's add a row. I don't actually have a sheet set up. So so let's figure out what sheet to use. And actually, one of the things I like to do here is say, hey, I'm creating a Google Sheet that gets the Amazon Seller Central report for, yeah, which report did we do? Get sales and traffic report. Create a Google Sheet. Hey, Guido, what's up, man? Create a Google Sheet for that report to map it all out. There we go. So it should get me a CSV, and I can go into my Google Sheets and create a new sheet, right? So let's, I should import a Google Sheet. So we'll create a Google Sheet, and we're just going to cheat and use this. So it's telling me exactly how to do it, and I like to cheat. To give me a downloadable file to import into Google Sheets. So now we're going to grab that file once it's done. Which one did I use by ASIN? I think I did by ASIN. By parent ASIN. Okay. So let's go download. We'll download the CSV by ASIN, and it'll save for us. And then we can go back in here and we will import. I'm actually importing the file. All right, and there we go. So it created the sheet for us. Let's do a sales report by ASIN AMZ. Okay, so it automatically made it and gave us all the headers that we needed to map out, right? So now we need to go back into our make.com scenario, and let's map out all of those. Well, we'll connect it to the spreadsheet, so we have to find the spreadsheet. No, you can search it by path. I don't remember where I put it exactly, so let me do. So the spreadsheet ID is this one. Oh, it's not showing up because I didn't. Got to change it so that it's available to share because it's restricted at this point. That's why it didn't show up in the link. So let's make sure that we're changing it to editor. Let's save it. All right, let's go back here now. And let's do it again. All right, there we go. So all right, now it will add a row into that sheet using that data. So now we need to map out each section, right? So the table does contain headers. So let's map out by ASIN, and we want to map out the child ASIN. And I'm just going to do a couple of things here to show you. So this is the parent ASIN, so we'll map that. Child ASIN. Oh, I did it by parent ASIN anyway, so it's only going to be by parent ASIN. So, and we'll just map out a couple of things so you can see what it looks like. So we can do units ordered B2B, you know, so you can map out whatever data that you want in here. Browser view, session percentage. So this pulls all the information. Amount, what is the pricing, right? So conversion rate. So you can actually search in here too. It's a lot of data to map out. So how much total order product sales, total order items, order product sales, amount, B2B, sales B2B, orders. It looks like it's mapping almost perfectly with the what came in. So that's what ChatGPT allowed me to do, is map it perfectly so I could just pull all those over. So anyway, I pulled all those over. We're going to save that. So now we can run this and it will actually add a row to our report right here. So let's run it through all the way. So we're just going to hit this run once. We're going to let it run all the way through. So it's running, we'll be able to see it. So the next thing that I think about when I'm doing this is, you know, what can I do with that data? So every day it's going to run the report. Great. I can go in and just download the data anyway, right? So the next thing that I think about is, what can I actually do with the data, right? So here we go. It mapped all the data right through. Boom. Just like that. So now it's here. So now you can think about what to do with the data, right? And one of the things that I like to do is have an AI agent do something with the data, right? So let's actually just do one real quick. Let's do AI agent analysis right here. Okay, so let's output the AI agent analysis. Okay, so let's build. I don't even think I've built an AI agent in Make before. Let's go see what we can do. All right, so we're gonna run an agent and we're going to tell it which agent. So let's see if I have made one. I have not. So let's create an agent. Okay. This is fun. Yay. So I have a Google Gemini. We're going to do OpenAI for the agent. We're going to create the agent. We're going to call it, let's call it Sales Report Analyzer. Okay. So it's like GPT-5. So which model to use, it's up to you on what that is. They are less expensive, more expensive, that kind of thing. So now I want to create a prompt. Okay. So I'm actually just going to go right back to ChatGPT, right? The same thing that we've been doing here. And I want to tell it to create a prompt. So you are a master prompt creator for sales data analysis from Amazon sales reports. Create a prompt that analyzes sales data over time, because I want it to read the entire file, right? So I want it to go through and actually read the entire file all the way through. I apologize if you're coming in from TikTok right now. I don't have access to stream live on my computer, so I have to do it that way. If you follow me, and also follow @Zonflip, zonflip.creator. I will have this activated the next time. So the next time I do this, you'll have full access. So I apologize in advance. If you guys have any questions outside of TikTok, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll be able to ask them. So anyways, so I wanted to create a prompt for me. So you are a master prompt creator for sales data analysis from Amazon sales reports. Create a prompt that analyzes sales data from the report.csv you just created, right? Because it's going to remember from this chat just created above. So it's going to know from this chat. And create a prompt that analyzes the sales data from the report you just created above over time, right? So it needs to analyze it over that time period. So now it's gonna access the data. I want it to access the data from it, and I want it to create. So this one is let's see what the prompt comes out as. All right, so we will go like this. Oftentimes, I just go through. I go through this analysis and just read through it. It does a pretty darn good job. But okay, and one of the things I just thought of, I wanted to output the AI analysis, right? So I'm going to say rewrite this and add an output for the column. In my memory, short term, so I called it AI agent analysis. So for the column AI agent analysis in Google Sheets. It will also review the Google Sheets document uploaded. All right, let me see. Give me just a second here. I want to extend the time on this. All right. Again, if you are coming in from LinkedIn or from TikTok, please just follow and get it for the next ones. The output of this is really not good. It will be next time. So, anyways, I'll copy the code. It says you are my sales analyst, and we'll go back over here, and we'll put it in. Where were we? All right, so let's do this. All right, so system prompt, and then let's just go ahead and read through this. Let's read through this real fast. Let's go. Let's go in here. All right, so you are my analyst input. You're going to get the data from these two sheets. These are the columns. Time window, conversion rate, diagnostics, decompose the revenue, sessions, units, all great, perfect, forecast, outputs. Executive summary, so it's going to output bullet points for me, key items from the table, and the buy box percentage, weekly trend data, and top ASINs. Brief commentary and charts. All right, perfect. Final step, quality rules, final step. Okay, so we're gonna save this. I do want to go over to my data analyzer because I know we have to add some tools to this. So we want to add some tools to this. So one of the tools we're going to add is we're going to actually have to create a get Google Sheets, right? So we're going to have to get this Google Sheet. So if we go in here, we'll add a module to it, and we want to get this Google Sheet because we want the data from the Google Sheet. Yeah, we'll just go like this. I'm not remembering where oh, that's why. Have that sheet saved to the wrong Google Drive. That's all it is. So let's move this over. I'm going to move this over to the right Google Drive. This is the wrong Google Drive. That's why it's not finding it. So let's just go do this real quick. Let's do this. Let's import. So we'll import that data. Perfect. Just added a sales data. Okay, it'll find it now. I was like wondering why I wasn't finding it before. All right, so now we can type sales. We'll refresh this. Come on. All right, so let me see. That may not be the right one, the right module that we want. Let me see. You know, like I said, I am not perfect at this. If you guys have ideas on this, please let me know. I actually usually use Supabase, so it's easier to get the data from Supabase. Whoops. All right, so we're going to get AA to ZZ. All right, let's run this module. Oh, come on. See, this is what I do. I fumble through things just like everybody else. I don't think anybody's perfect. And then I haven't been in make.com in a while, so I usually use N8N, but all right, we're running through ChatGPT. There we go. AA1. That's why I didn't go. Okay, let's do AA1. We'll do AA2. AA1. All right, so let's run this and see what the output comes. Oh. I know what I did. I had to map out the two sheets. So the sheet name, not the spreadsheet ID, but the sheet name and the range. And this is the sheet name right here. So I had to make sure to do the sheet name and the range. All right, so let's run this through again. And remember, what we're doing is building this AI agent over here. We want to add a message to it. What is coming in? The data that's coming. If you want to add a data, a message for it. So here is, yeah. All right, so we want to add a module. All right, I'm grabbing all the information I need for this module because I want to run it once and see what the output looks like. So we're getting the sheet name and we're going to run it through. All right, so this is the output that it gave, and it's giving it in bundles based off each bundle is a row, right? So it's getting it by bundles, and so we're going to have the agent. I'm going to save this. Let's go to the agents over here and build it outside of this. So I haven't built this agent yet. So let's configure it outside. So I've already done this. Context. So the tools, we want it to be. So what I'm doing is feeding it this sheet right now. So I want to feed it the sheet. And we're going to feed it the full sheet. So and we'll let the AI agent decide. Yes, it contains headers. And I'm not going to let the AI agent decide on the sheet because I know exactly what sheet I want it to go to. So, all right, so I added that sheet and it's going to get the range values from that sheet automatically. So that's a new feature in Make since the last time I've been in here. So that is great. That's a great feature. So you can test it and train it, but we're just going to go right back into it. Oh, which one was it? I have all of these. Oh, already got it. Got that. All right, so now we're in here. We don't need this one because it's already going to train on that, so it's going to get it. So I do want to tell it to get to use the sheet. So that is going to be a prompt that I'll do. I'll add it as a message, but you should put it as a prompt. So I'll say use the tool get a sheet and analyze that data. There we go. All right. So now the AI agent is going to do what I tell it to do. So we're going to run this through. And we're going to pull the data from Amazon Seller Central. And then we're going to get that report data. We're going to turn it into a readable output, right? Because when it comes out of these modules, it's just, it isn't a readable output. So you'll see that it completed the archive, did the JSON that we talked about. It put it into its own bundle like that. And then it added it as a row. So you'll see that it updated it as a row. So if we go over here, you'll actually see a row here. It should be about the same row because the parent ASIN's the same. I didn't run it for all the parent ASINs, but you can run that for all of the parent ASINs. So you can map out which parent ASINs that it goes to. So now the AI agent is working and it's analyzing the data that just went into it from the report. So you'll see it working here. So let's see what the output is, because remember I used ChatGPT to help me set up the prompt. I actually have no idea what it ended up saying. So oh, okay. All right. So the input, let's go look at the agent. I got an error. It didn't see anything, but that's because I just mapped it to the wrong sheet name. I need to lowercase these. And again, I'm just whipping through this pretty quick. I would have fed more information into it. Sales traffic by ASIN template. So I would have fed more information into it and trained it a little bit better. I'm just going very quickly through this to try to get a good output for us, right? I'm really just trying to get a good output for us. So run this module. So I don't have to run it back through because the agent is automatically grabbing that data. One of the things you could do too is instead of just downloading the report, you can run this to download the report every day and get all of the ASINs every day, or and get yesterday's or get last week's, the full data, and just have it saved to the Google Sheet. And then you can have an entirely separate scenario running once a day or whenever, maybe even weekly, and have it analyzing that data. And then it will output to the sheet. So I know I'm going to add an additional module to output to the sheet, right? So I'm going to grab this data, and there isn't a spreadsheet context available to the tool. So I'm just going to upload the template. Nope. Document content loaded. Oh, let's go see let's go read this error again, or what the output was. I tried to read the sheet, but there wasn't a spreadsheet context available. Okay, so this is the easiest thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go into ChatGPT and I'm going to say, got this output from this agent prompt. This is one of the tricks I learned, is just letting them decide what's happening. Analyzing the attached data. So now I'm going to upload the data that it has. Rewrite the prompt for proper output. Okay. So now I'm just going to have it rewrite the prompt for proper output, right? So I'm just letting it do its thing, ChatGPT do its thing. But this is where the magic happens, right? Is to do this prompt and set up this AI agent prompt to analyze it the way that you want it to, right? And to take a look at it how you want it to, and to add whatever tools that you want to it, right? So it will analyze it the way that you expect it to analyze. So let me actually just do this. All right, let's go get our new tool or our new prompt. I'm not even going to read through it. I am just going to change the prompt on this agent. All right, so let's go back and let's run this agent. So now we're running that agent to analyze the report that just came in. I'm ready to analyze, but I need Google Sheets to pull the data from. Google Sheet URL with direct edit access. All right, let's actually, I'm going to just change this over so that it will decide what to do. So the agent now is going to decide what to do. And there's not a lot of data in here right now because I didn't map everything out all the way, but it's really good to map all the data out so that it comes through. It doesn't even have all the child ASINs or parent ASINs mapped all the way, but you can map all of the data. Let's share. Oops. All right, let's let that run through. See what happens. Let's get some data. We should get some data in there too, so it can actually analyze and give us a good output. So then the final thing that I want to do is output to the sheet for that day or that week, or create a new sheet for the analysis to output for weekly. And then I can even email it in Slack or send it in Slack. I can do a lot of different things with it that will allow my team to analyze that data from the report. I could put a prompt in to have it say, analyze this data and see if there's any fluctuations or changes week over week. And if there is, why, or inform the team, set a, whatever. I mean, you could add whatever you want on the end of this for reporting purposes. All right, so the AI agent stopped. All right, it is getting the information and the data, so it should run through. Just waiting for it to go. All right, so I am actually going to end this now. If you want to do this again, and you have an idea of something that you want to automate, just follow wherever you're at in whether it's on TikTok or LinkedIn or whatever platform you're on right now. Follow. I am planning on doing this once or twice a week, and it would be great to have some ideas of some bottlenecks that you guys are doing in your own business, your own Amazon brand or agency that maybe you want to automate in it and have done regularly. This is kind of the way to do that. And then this is the way to implement the AI automations, right? And implement the agents. So thank you all for joining in here. Hopefully this was a little helpful. Hopefully you got some information from it. I know I wasn't able to finish through the automation on this just due to timing reasons, but a lot of information you can get through LinkedIn or follow me on there. I do drop some pointers, but it's